Well, to offer a robust legal analysis of the Supreme Court judgment on the Rivers State emergency rule and to unpack the constitutional basis of the emergency proclamation, the powers of the executive, as well as the limits imposed by the law, we're joined by Oba Maduabuchi. He's a senior advocate of Nigeria. Thank you so much, SAN, for joining us on the news.
It's always a pleasure.
I mean, let's begin with what the court said, and Godfrey highlighted in his report at the beginning. The court did say that it lacks the jurisdiction to entertain the instant suit, but commented extensively on Section 305 of the Constitution. Are these pronouncements binding or merely suggestions?
No,
what did you make of it?
These are what we call obiter dicta.
Meaning?
Meaning passing remarks.
So it's not binding?
No. They are passing remarks. Because ex nihilo nihil fit, out of nothing, nothing can come. There was no court, there was no case. The first thing the Supreme Court said, these people don't have the locus to bring this action.
Yes, it did say that.
So when you have said that, so there is no suit before the Supreme Court. So in what suit then did they deliver the judgment?
So how do you describe the exercise and what came out yesterday? Is that not a judgment?
The judgment of the Supreme Court is that these 10 guys do not have the locus to bring the action, which I agree with. The only person that could have gone to court is the Attorney General of Rivers State.
And he didn't go?
And he didn't go.
But PDP governors
went. It is not PDP governors that were removed now. And it's not in any of the state that there was a state of emergency was declared. So there are some interlopers. That's solid law.
Interesting.
Yes. So and once the Supreme Court has said there is no proper suit before us, any other thing said after that is merely a discussion.
Okay, let's go to something else they said. They said, well, 6 of them did say that 305 is silent.
Yes.
That section 305 is silent on the precise content of the extraordinary measures.
Yes.
They did say the president has the powers to declare a state of emergency in any part of the country and can take extraordinary measures, but the Constitution did not spell out what extraordinary measures are.
Yes.
Then they insist that measures must be temporary, corrective, and proportionate. Does that clarify what extraordinary measures can be, or does that create more ambiguity? When you say the president can temporarily suspend elected officials.
You see, I wouldn't go as far as saying that the president can, because it's not contained in our laws.
But that's what the justices said yesterday.
Yes, just a minute. But I will say that in giving the president the powers to declare a state of emergency, the president must of necessity have the discretion in exercising that powers to take steps which the president perceives as necessary to give effect to that declaration of state of emergency. This is where we accept that once there is declaration of state of emergency, something unusual has happened. If the situations were normal, nobody will talk of state of emergency. So it depends on the type of situation the president is handling.
But the Constitution provides clearly what those conditions are.
Yes.
Section 45, I believe.
Yeah, 305.
305.
Yes.
And the conditions for declaring those the state of
exactly.
emergency.
So
it does
now it tells you if there is threat of war, if there is a natural disaster. So each of them, if there is threat of war and the military will take over, do you expect the House of Assembly to sit?
But is this not open-ended? And does it not risk executive powers being, unlimited?
It has
You've given the president, open-ended options.
Yes, we agree. The point is, there is no way you can give somebody power to declare a state of emergency without giving him some latitude, some form of discretion. If you cannot pigeonhole state of emergency. Nobody ever thought of what happened in Rivers. When they were making that law, nobody thought about it. So you must leave it a little bit loose, so that the man who is exercising that power will exercise it with some. At least we say we accept. We presume that our president will be responsible.
You presume?
Yes. So in that presumption, you now give.
Isn't that risky?
No, there's nothing. Even breathing is risky. If you otherwise, you remove state of emergency.
But we've seen state of emergency declared in the country,
Yes.
where elected officials remain in power.
Yes.
And I think the justices also cited that, including Borno, the southeast region,
Exactly.
under President Goodluck Jonathan.
Yes, yes.
So in that instance, elected officials remained in office.
Yes.
But it was the reverse we saw in Rivers State.
Yes.
And the question is, how do we ensure, you're presuming, it's good to presume, but how do we ensure that we do have a president who is measurable to take such decisions going further?
You see, that is why the National Assembly must come in. The state of emergency cannot take effect until the National Assembly has said so. The president declares state of emergency, publishes it in the Gazette. Then he now takes the Gazette to the National Assembly. The National Assembly looks at it, looks at what he wants to do as representatives of the Nigerian people, and says, go ahead. That is a check. But if we assume that our president will be so irresponsible as to be a China in a bull in a China shop, and then also all our National Assembly, House of Reps, Senate, they will all be, well, that means that we might as well just remove the power of declaring state of emergency. The point is, it is necessary for us to give the president the power to declare state of emergency.
It's already there in the Constitution.
Yes. Now, for example, of late, everybody has been shouting about security, kidnappings. He declared a state of emergency on kidnapping. And he took extraordinary measures, withdrew policemen. Soldiers are now leaving the checkpoints, go into the bush, brought in forest guards. NSA, arm them. That is because the type of emergency situation he was dealing with is the one that requires this type of reactions.
Senior Advocate,
Yes.
the argument from critics is that, given this pronouncement from the justices, the Supreme Court yesterday, any president in power can decide what discretionary measures are,
Yes.
and then suspend elected officials across 36 states of the Federation.
It is not possible.
Because they did say it can be carried out temporarily.
No, it is not possible. Remember that if you can, the president can declare state of emergency in Nigeria or any part thereof. Now, if it is the president declaring a state of emergency, I don't see how he can declare a state of emergency in the whole of Nigeria, unless we are at war.
No, they're saying in any part.
Yes. Now, if
He can remove, he can
suspend.
Suspend
Yes.
elected officials.
Yes.
That's what the justices have said.
Yes, and he can.
You do agree with them?
Yes, he can. Because if for example, if not for one or two things, Boko Haram was overrunning Borno State. And Jonathan thought about a state of emergency. And of course, he wanted to suspend the governor. Adoke, his attorney general, said, no, you don't have the powers. Even though I disagree with Adoke, my very good friend. Because if you allow them to overrun, where will the House of Assembly be? Where will the governor be? If you now move in soldiers, governor, come and stay in Abuja, let's stay with us. You members of the House, come and stay with us in Abuja. Then the soldiers will now take over, clear the place, then we come back to normal. Once there is a state of emergency, it is no longer normal.
So you do not agree with those who say that the Supreme Court has crossed the line between constitutional interpretation and judicial lawmaking in this judgment by putting into the Constitution what is not in Section 305?
No, what is that? What they said is in 305. Because
to remove elected officials?
No.
But that's what they said.
He says, you see, people are talking about fear. I have that fear too as a human being. But like I always say, when I'm talking as a lawyer, I remove my humanity. I look at this purely from a lawyer's point of view. The president is giving powers to take extraordinary measures. That is a wide discretion given to him. Extraordinary
and it's not dangerous
measures.
in your view?
Yes.
It's not dangerous in
No,
your view?
it might be dangerous, but that is it is not my business to make the law. It's my business to interpret it. He has been given powers to take extraordinary measures.
So the president does define what extraordinary measures is.
He must put it and take it to the National Assembly. It is now where the National Assembly says, go and remove. Then people will say, my friend, what's wrong with you guys?
There are many questions to ask Senior Advocate of Nigeria. Unfortunately, we've run out of time because there are those who say, you know, when you have the National Assembly that is deemed or seen as rubber stamp to the executive in power, then that's even further trouble for democracy and rule of law. But Senior Advocate of Nigeria, we have to bring you another time to discuss this further. Thank you so much. Maduabuchi is a Senior Advocate of Nigeria.
Any day.
Interesting perspectives following the Supreme Court's judgment.
Yes.
Thank you so much.